open a cold one while the crustaceans take the ice. It's Hops and Hockey Night here at Akins Ford Arena, where we celebrate a match made in heaven, hockey and beer. An event brought to you by our friends at Terrapin. Will the Thunderbirds terrorize Athens, or can a resounding victory lead the Lobsters to some celebratory claw-shank redemptions? Good afternoon, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to the tank. On tonight's broadcast, the Twin City Thunderbirds take on your Athens Rock Lobsters in FPHL action. My name is Matt Rad, bringing you all the action on the ARL Network, live on YouTube, Sporfy, and tonight on our television partners at Peachtree Sports Network. Before we drop the puck, we get started with the Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Last weekend in Baton Rouge, the Rock Lobsters were left with a bad taste in their mouth after suffering the first loss in franchise history to the Zydeco in a 6-3 fashion. It took too long for the Lobsters to find their legs in that game, and by the time they did, it was too late. After what head coach Gary Rutledge called a quiet bus ride and then a long layoff, Athens still has a chance to put themselves back atop the Continental Division with a win in a one-game weekend against a team they haven't seen in quite some time. The last time we saw last year's Commissioner's Cup finalists, the Twin City Thunderbirds, was 4 months ago exactly on November 1st, but things are a little different this time. I do not believe there has ever been a game in franchise history where the Rock Lobsters will play against as many former players as they will tonight, with Matt Garcia, Chris Mott, and Dion Demke suiting up for the team from Winston-Salem. Garcia comes back into a building where he scored the first ever goal, and he will no doubt be fiending to put his name among the lights of the tank. Once again, the lights have turned red, and here come the Lobsters. Athens' magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 14 now, but by taking out the first team outside of the playoff picture in Twin City tonight, they can reduce that number to 8 in one foul swoop. The Thunderbirds are desperate to stay in the fight, but they themselves could be 10 points out of a playoff spot by the end of the night. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, brought to you by Akins Ford. It looks like Garrett Rutledge is deploying a similar lineup to that we saw earlier on in the season. The first shift tonight belongs to the line of Johnson, Milan, and Neely. Going to be interesting to see the reunion of the two veterans, Milan and Neely, who were red hot together to start the year. Michael Greco is now paired with Jack Johansson, and Carter McPhail may have a new backup, but he will get the start once again tonight for the sixth straight game. That backup is Matt Sales, who we saw quite a bit in the opposing crease for the PD Ice Cats. Rutledge feeling like he needed to make some changes, and as you can see, he's done that around the lineup, both forwards and blue liners. The starting lineup is brought to you by Akins Ford. If you need a pickup to your day, week, month, or year, come make a deal for a pickup truck at the biggest and best Ford dealership in the Peach State, Akins Ford. Athens has yet to fall to the T-Birds this season. Will that change on home ice? This is a Twin City team they will see quite a bit in the month of March. You now know all you need to know thanks to the Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Piedmont, real change lives here. Let's send it down to the ice for the pregame proceedings. A special thank you to Rocky Branch Elementary and their chorus for bringing us the national anthem tonight. One of 3 games where we have a Sunday a little bit half-packed with FPHL action here today. We got a couple of guests for some ceremonial puck drops today. That includes Mary Beth Fonda, General Manager of Terrapin Beer Company. Take a quick look at the goalie matchup for tonight. Carter McPhail has been the go-to #1 for the Rock Lobsters most of this season. Even more so after William Lavalier's departure to the ECHL. Boris Babic has had a tough go at it this season. I don't really think much of it is his fault. This is a Twin City Thunderbird team that has struggled to defend this year. There's Dr. Corey Dortch, president of the UGA Alumni Association.
Next up, please welcome a representative from Athens Rock Lobsters.
Two captains who wear the number 14 for their 2 teams, Carter Shinkarik and John Batita. Batita reached the 300 game mark in the FPHL earlier on this season. And there is Laura Hope Whitaker, the CEO of Extra Special People, who have been guests here in the tank multiple times this season. Glad to have them back. We send it up to the concourse for a special message from Elena Jones. And as you could tell, not only Elena, but Crustacean Nation is ready to go here on Hops and Hockey Night at Akins Ford Arena. Both of these teams 6-4 over their past 10 games, but the Thunderbirds are coming off of a loss last night against a struggling Watertown Wolves team. What version of the Thunderbirds, what version of the Rock Lobsters will we have tonight? Thunderbirds start the game off with a win on the faceoff. Splitting pass across, picked up by Jan Salak. One part of the legendary check line for the Thunderbirds that won a Commissioner's Cup back in 2019. A scrum here happening under the hood at the wall. Forward to the right side of the point. Connor Craig with an early shot straight into the midsection of McPhail. Carter McPhail coming off of a loss in his last game, 26 saves on 31 shots. A tough night for the whole squad in Baton Rouge. A slap of the glove and back to it we go. Joe Mack tasked with the defensive zone faceoff here. We'll redo it. Thunderbirds, good puck movement right out of the face-off win, deflected out in front. Salak tapped it down on the initial shot from Craig. Working in behind the net, Gus Ford trying to create a window for Josh LaBelle, who at one point was one of the top scoring defensemen of the season, along with Carter Shinkarik on the other side. Philip Virgili lofts it high, looking for the run of Devin Maya. He was getting up from the blue line position. Joe Mack able to tie up Batita. Here's Carter Shinkarik in his own right circle, looking to thread one through the elevator shaft and ends up icing the puck. Already minute 1 gone here. Rock Lobsters versus the Thunderbirds. First time these two teams have met in 4 months. November 1st, the last time that the Thunderbirds came into town. But this is a team that we will see a lot of in the month of March. And here comes Chris Mott to take the face-off for the Thunderbirds, making his return to Akins Ford Arena, as is this man on the puck. Matt Garcia whisks it around the end boards, gets it all the way to the corner. Roman Kramer. Joe Mack tying up a man once again. Croucher able to poke it out towards center. Maye return pass over to Croucher. Glukarioff belting towards the back door, and Babic makes the save. First shot on net for the Rock Lobsters came courtesy of Luke Croucher, where he's coming off a game where he scored his first goal back from injury, his first since December 19th in that 6-3 loss versus Baton Rouge last Saturday. Came with the net empty for the Rock Lobsters. Garrett Rutledge hoping that it won't come to that in this one. Thunderbirds doing well out of the faceoffs. Garcia protects from Croucher. Looks like Garcia's wearing the cage. So perhaps some sort of facial injury at some point for the first player ever signed in Rock Lobster history. Both Van Durken and Kramer poke at it, sent all the way into Athens zone. Picked up by Kolatarsi, who will not be with Kardish and Carrick on a pair for, I believe, what might be the first time this season. Croucher takes a spill into the Thunderbird bench. Nate Keeley turns and sends it in. McPhail. A fast pass into Paralat. Tristan Mughal on the puck there. Recently signed with his twin brother, Jordan. Both 24 years old. Spills off of McPhail. Demke get there first. Demke, another former Rock Lobster. Backhanded away from Johansson to Johnson. Johnson picks up the pass from Babic. Milan out of the corner. Johansson thinking about the pop, and it's patted away by the man from Slovakia in the Twin City crease. Johnson here on the left wing. Piece of it in. Babic stops it in the trapezoid. LaBelle almost got caught stick handling in his own zone, but here's Jan Salak on the left side. Johnson riding him at the wall. McPhail around for Milan on the near side. Trying to find a friendly face in Johansson. Johansson getting into the numbers there of Ford. Pops out free up towards the point at the left wing for the Rock Lobsters. Right side for the Thunderbirds. LaBelle trying to send it in a place where traffic might terrorize McPhail. Centering pass. It comes off of Johansson hard and wide of McPhail's cage. Great move by Ford and a glove save from McPhail on the shot of LaBelle. Got a lot of time on puck drop to puck drop there. We're already 3.5 minutes gone. And as of right now, McPhail has been the slightly busier goaltender, and there is a look at Matt Garcia wearing a number unfamiliar to Crustacean Nation. 36 for the Rock Lobsters, 7 for the Thunderbirds. 77 games that he played with the Athens organization. Great tenacity there from Gallant. Trying to follow up with it is Maye, who finds Mack. Mack can't get any mustard on the shot, but Babic unable to calm the nerves. Gallant taking the spot of Maye, doing some defensive work, and sends a shot that flutters towards Babic's net. Kramer trying to clear his ice, does more than that, and Zach White's shot goes diagonal. Stopped at the line by Chris Mott. Thunderbirds working out of the left wings. Thinking about the shot in the high slot was Chris Mott. Cade Hanley out to the left for James Farmer. Hanley up the right side. There's a tip on it from Corey Cunningham. Kolatarsi can only flip it up off the boards. Virgili, the Swede, settles things down. Paralat wants the puck and he'll get it. Gallant takes a spill. Van Durken follows up. And it looks like we've got a penalty on the play, and the Rock Lobsters will have the game's first power play. The rookie, just a few games into his professional career, Jordan Mughal. Him and his twin brother coming off of 4 years of D3 hockey at SUNY Canton, both of Pakistani descent, have represented Pakistan internationally. Stopped by Maye at the point. Oh, a little tip out in front. Jesse Lowell almost with a punctuation mark. Maye in the left circle, looking for the tip once again. Lowell trying to backhand it on the back end of Babic. Maye here, out of the corner. Tipped once again from Lowell at the net front. Babic standing tall here in the early seconds of the power play. Van Durken taking up a spot on the left side of the blue line. Gets through Maye, spills out toward the end boards. As you see, Tristan Mughal serving 2 minutes for tripping. Eric Neely getting to the outside hash mark, centers it. Sent right back at him, bounces off the boards, and Maye quarterbacking this power play unit. Neely will pin it at the window. Lowell centers it. Van Durken can't chop it down, and a minute to go on Jordan Mughal's penalty. New unit will come out for the Rock Lobsters. Garrett Milan trying to get this new unit rolling on. Gets a touch back from Joe Mack, sends it right back where it came from. Mack through traffic, gets blocked. Shinkarik unloads a laser to the left. That puck just about stays in, didn't leak out on Gallant. Croucher, Shinkarik. Milan out to the right, Gallant off the end boards. Mack was hoping for someone to pass to, can't whisk a shot towards Babic. We go to the first commercial timeout of the game. Stay tuned, still more to come between the Twin City Thunderbirds and your Athens Rock Lobsters.
As a hockey player, my health is everything to me. When I got injured,
I didn't just worry about missing games. I worried about my future in the sport I love. From the moment I met you and your team at Piedmont Athens Regional, you gave me confidence. Your expertise, your care, your support, it all reassured me from the very start. Because of you, I've been able to recover, rebuild, and get back to playing the sport I love. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dream alive. Thanks to Dr. Graff and Piedmont Athens Regional, I get to keep playing the game I love.
Having some issues with the score bug here, folks. Apologies for that. There is 19 seconds to go on this Rock Lobster power plays. We seem to have some issues calling up power plays here. Apologies for that. 19 seconds to go. As you know, we don't have issues for too long here on the broadcast. Make sure we'll get that fixed for you next time around, if not some point this afternoon. Malik Johnson with a rare faceoff there, and he wins it. Virgili gets a right skate on it, nothing more, gets the puck back. I think he just mishandled it and takes it back out of the zone. 5 seconds left on this Rock Lobster power play. Is there one last move? Johnson just trying to get it through, and he almost dangles it past Babic. Glukarioff paints the bar. Paralat a tip from Johnson out in front. Both teams back at even strength as the Thunderbirds are able to weather the storm. Glukarioff, a great poke check that turns into a pass for Geely, flips it over the bar. Glukarioff has some fire in the skates here to start this one. A dump and change for the Rock Lobsters. Van Durken unable to get it through bodies. Lowell doing some work under the hood there. Rock Lobsters at risk of the offside. McPhail puts the hand up for icing, and it'll be granted to him. 10 shots on goal between these two teams make that 11. Rock Lobsters with 8, Thunderbirds with 3.
Thank you to Akins for the
Two number 10s. And they're really also 10 out of 10s in the way they play the game. Gus Ford and Garrett Milan, both former MVPs in this league. Milan last season. Gus Ford, the 2022-23 MVP in the FPHL. Carrick Milan takes it on and off the line, and miscommunication there. Corey Cunningham hoping that it'll pay off. Shinkarik gives it up to Ford. Him and Milan get knotted up. Johnson can't poke it out of danger. Ford, forehand, backhand. Got tied up by Johansson. Johnson was on his way, got taken down there by Hanley. Cleanly, say the officials, or do they? Looks like the officials have changed their mind. Gus Ford not happy about it at all, but he'll sit for two. Still trying to figure out our power play timer here, folks. Like, once again, apologies for that. Take another look here, thanks to Classic City Orthodontics. That was a play there from Hanley on Johnson, but it was Ford who's going into the box. And there's lengthy conversations out of it. Looks like officiating still being done to try and figure out what exactly the call is here. Paul Thomas, they're showing something to the officials. Looks like we're back skating five-a-side. Don't believe Ford is any longer in the box. Johnson with a big hit on Nate Keeley. Milan unable to find a teammate. Keeley still wearing the end period in front of his last name on the jersey, despite the fact he is not playing with his brother this season. Milan Johnson with a poke check to keep it at the end of his stick.
Thunderbird penalty on number 10, Gus Ford, a game misconduct abuse of official. He has been ejected from the game.
Oh, so Gus Ford has been ejected from the game for abuse of officials. The former MVP will no longer be a part of this game. Philip Virgili with a dangle. Sends a shot wayward. Now, will it be a game misconduct or a 10-minute misconduct? Because right now it looks like potentially federalhockey.com is telling us something else. No power play right now. For those concerned watching on the YouTube side. If there is power plays for either team, we'll try to keep you updated as best we can vocally here. Some issue with our power play timer. It was somewhat confusing because there was a play between Hanley and Johnson that felt like it should have been a call. Maybe Ford thought that it was a simulation or dive from Malik Johnson. It didn't look it that way to us up here in the booth. It is indeed a game misconduct for Gus Ford. Face-off won by the Thunderbirds. McPhail lets it go wide. Gallant there to help him out. Chased down here by Hanley. Icing against Athens. Nearly 10 minutes gone here in this first period. The Rock Lobsters have had the better flow of things between the two teams. And I don't know if that's going to be helped at all by the ejection of Gus Ford, who is the point leader for the Thunderbirds this season. But you never know. Having a veteran like that ejected from the game was very, very fiery in his response for something that he saw on the ice against the officials. Perhaps that will create a spark for the Thunderbirds. Perlat trying to settle things down. It's taken away from him by the Twin City captain. A little shove at the back door. Seconds after the ejection for the Thunderbirds, veteran Gus Ford, they get a goal to start the scoring tonight. Thunderbirds lead 1-0. Looks like it's the big Czech Jan Salak, 6'5" forward, planting himself in front of McPhail. And now the Rock Lobsters playing from behind early on, which they have done multiple times this season. A little chip ahead from Croucher. Reunited on this line with the two Russians. A little whiff there out of the own zone. Glukariov for the second time tonight blazes one off the bar. Van Durken with a dump in. Maye closest to it. He'll help win it in the zone. Croucher getting crunched by two. And then Chris Mott, the former Rock Lobster, almost got the stick lifted by Van Durken. Two players who have been adversaries and have been teammates, faced off against one another, as one was a Danbury hat trick and the other was a Binghamton Black Bear. Croucher is the furthest back now. Zach White on a break takes it to the net. Kind of just mishandled it as he was bearing down in on McPhail. The Twin City did get their goal. Salak from Keeley and Butita. And now Athens looking for an answer. Maye tiptoes over it, gets a return pass from Shinkarik, rides the wall up the right wing to Glukariov. Backhand lifter, glove down by Croucher. He's in all alone, taken off of him by Josh LaBelle. Some big bodies on Twin City. Salak at 6'5", LaBelle at 6'6". Craig protects, finds his D partner LaBelle. Johnson trying to find Milan, who were part of the first ever shift in Rock Lobster history. McPhail with a glove save. That sends us back to a commercial break. Rock Lobsters down early on once again, but that has usually led to good things for the Rock Lobsters. Will it this time?
Rock Lobster fans, this is Brad Akins. Akins Ford has led the way for years and keeps on growing. From offering the Southeast's largest inventory to being #1 in the nation in Ford truck sales, we're here to serve you. Want to customize your ride? Our Wild Willie's accessories team can make it as unique as you are. Make it legendary. Need service? Our fleet of over a dozen mobile service vans come right to you. Akins Ford and Winder. We really are closer and bigger than you think. Rock Lobsters, let's go.
Saturday, March 14th, the Rock Lobsters honor the heroes who serve our community every single day on First Responders Night. From firefighters and EMTs to law enforcement and medical professionals, we'll recognize the brave men and women who are first on the scene when it matters most. Join us as we celebrate their dedication, sacrifice, and commitment to keeping Athens safe. Be loud, be proud, and help us show our gratitude on First Responders Night by getting your tickets at rocklobstershockey.com right now. Milan with a chop win on the faceoff. Greco goes body to body in the far side corner. Followed suit there by Nate Keeley on Milan. Greco with a little claw shank redemption in his zone. Thinking about the wraparound, very similar position to where the Thunderbirds opened the scoring in this game. McPhail back onto both skates, went down to the butterfly and makes a save. Greco. Neely. Cross-ice pass. Johnson onto the backhand, got taken down. A slap of the ice on the stick for Malik the Marvel. Jordan Mughal. McPhail with a save. That was tough to keep in his good graces, but he's able to find a way. Very, very good crowd here tonight for Hops and Hockey, brought to you by Terrapin. Both teams hoping to find a celebratory reason to lift a frothy one high tonight. Thunderbirds playing a good, gritty game here at the start. Good speed, a step there from Corey Cunningham. Sends it in behind Jordan Mughal. Cunningham with a shot. Misses wide right. Good puck movement. Hanley looking for a tip at the slot. Cunningham takes it wide once again. And a giveaway from Hanley. Hands it off to the Rock Lobsters. Virgili got it over the red line. Thunderbirds quickly back in possession, though. Hanley takes it in behind Babick. Good speed here from Chris Mott. Johansson was looking for the hip check. Mott came out the other side of it. Shot in and out in the glove of McPhail. Greco and Roman Kramer exchanging pleasantries. And that frees the puck up for Van Durken. Croucher, a burst of speed. Van Durken, it's off the middlework twice. I can't believe it. Those up here in the booth thought it might have been a goal too, and we have to stop play. And the Thunderbirds are upset because they had a half break on the other side of the ice that had to be stopped. Don't think there's much to review here. It was pretty clear off the metalwork twice consecutively. 4 times already the Rock Lobsters have hit the goal frame in this game. We'll take another look courtesy of Classic City Orthodontics. McPhail hits the post, and then Croucher goes and hits the same post. The rookie would want that one back, a near wide open net to aim for, and he missed all of it. And then right out of that, the Thunderbirds on a rush the other direction. They're going to review it here. It's near clear to me that the puck never crossed the line. But we'll take a step aside and let the referees make that determination. A view that you can get on the Sportfy side is the goal camera. The net right behind Babbick's goal. Should be pretty clear cut in a quick review. Referees are heading back out, and a confirmation of no goal. Confirmation of what we all thought here. The Rock Lobsters still have a goal to try and get back on the scoreline. We'll face off at center ice. Keeley and Milan. Lowell here getting a shift with a line and a blast from Neely out to the left. Lowell showing grit on the forecheck. Neely. A snap from Milan, left circle, a flash of the glove from Boris Babbick. Jesse Lowell, 10th forward tonight for Rutledge and the Rock Lobsters. Offensive zone draw here. Milan wins the faceoff against his former teammate Mott. Off the glass and off the back end of the cage. Neely centers. Lowell hassled there by Mott. Neely just sends one towards the net front. Kola with a pop. Kola Tarsi. Didn't get the pass right to Milan, but doesn't result in anything too dangerous from Twin City the other way. Milan backhand chop off the wall. Gallant gets it back to Super Milan. Will he strap the cape on here? Paralat out to the left side. Backhands it towards Babbick and then chops at it. Second bite of the cherry and both taste sour. We go to our final commercial timeout of the first period. The Rock Lobsters thought there might have been a chance to get one back, but they hit the metalwork twice in seconds. We'll be back right after this.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Four minutes and 21 seconds. remaining here. And again, apologies as we just continue to have issues with our score bug today. Joe Mack wins it in the offensive zone. Virgili sent it back in front. Gallant didn't get his stick on it. Cade Hanley here on the left wing for the Thunderbirds. McPhail trying to keep his head on a swivel with the puck in behind him. Puck out in front on the scramble. Sent away by Virgili, but not out. Pops up there into the Rock Lobster bench. Try to see if we can fix our score bug issues in the first intermission. Linesman doesn't look happy with either player's approach on the faceoff. Keeley will come out with the win. Shinkarik takes one. Looks like right into the right flank there. Shinkarik heads straight back to the bench. Mai with a dump in. Babic leaving it for Craig. Believe the tally for how many times that the Rock Lobsters have hit the frame of the net in this first period right now sits at 4. Twisting, turning, Nate Keeley. Craig over the red line, over the trapezoid. Kind of a mistake there from Garcia. Glukarioff with a mishandle. But Van Dirk, and we know him as the Moscow Mule, trying to find Croucher, corner-to-corner pass. Banked out of the zone by Salak. Babic asking for some help there. Kramer getting caught, trying to work out which option was best, and now scrum for possession. 6 different players there trying to work it out. Greco chopped by Johnson and misses the net on the second time around. Johnson with a chance to answer on his own rebound. Neely with that wicked release. Off of Babic's chest and into the glove. Face off. The Rock Lobsters perspective to the left of Babic. Sent high and long by Kolatarsi. Drops down off the glass for LaBelle. Neely mitigating the potential 3-on-3. Kolatarsi, what a poke check there on the goal scorer, Salak. Johnson threw a body, but not to Milan. 100 seconds remaining in the first period. Neely, cross ice to Johnson, trying to work his way towards Perlat. Great to see Shinkarik back out on the ice after he took a bump and a bruise from a blocked shot. Garcia's defensive partner is James Farmer. McPhail well out of his crease. That one sounded like it hurt. Chris Mott forcing a block shot. Twin City, the team from Carolina, doing a great job at causing chaos around the crease. Athens with a 4-on-2 the other way. Virgili, Lowell can't settle it. And now Mott leading the charge, finding White on the right side. Steps on the brakes, passes off to Mott, return to White. Wrist shot doesn't go. Shinkaric gets it taken off of his stick, and Corey Cunningham at point-blank range over the bar. A lot of near chances in this first period, but right now the Thunderbirds, the only ones who have tickled the twine through Salak's goal. That coming at the 10-15 mark. Rock Lobsters playing a little bit of keep away in their own zone, just hoping to keep the deficit where it is into the first intermission. The Rock Lobsters down a goal early on. It's been a familiar trend for Athens this season, but they have been a much better second and third period team this year, despite the fact that they lead shots on goal 12-9 here in the first period. It is the Thunderbirds who have the shot that matters, Jan Salak's goal, to make it 1-0, but it wasn't for a lack of trying from Athens, who around 4 or 5 times in this first period hit the metalwork. So many shots that could have gone, almost did go. Drives to the net, and perhaps calls that didn't get made. And there's the one that came closest. Rock Lobsters already celebrating, and there you see confirmation of that no goal that was reviewed. Croucher would want that one back. I think you had to look at the first period, courtesy of Classic City Orthodontics. We head on off to the first intermission, where we send you this week's Coach's Corner segment. I had a chance to talk with Coach Rutledge about that difficult loss in Baton Rouge and what the team learned out of it and what lessons they take into this game against the Twin City Thunderbirds. We'll be back with more hockey in about 17 and a half minutes. Until then, we hope you enjoy Coach's Corner, hosted by me, Mateen Rad, and head coach Garrett Rutledge. Welcome back, Crustacean Nation, to Coach's Corner. It's where you get your insight for everything happening on and off the ice for the Rock Lobsters. I'm your host, Mateen Rad, and I'm joined by head coach Garrett Rutledge. Ruts, we have 3 games to talk about, starting back on Education Day at 10:35 puck drop on Wednesday morning. First off, the noise from the crowd filled with kids who made their way into the building, and that morning was incredible. I know you've said before how maybe insulated you can feel from the crowd noise there on the bench. Was that changed at all with the higher pitched screams that were coming into the rink?
The higher pitched screams were definitely heard on the ice level. I thought it was good. I thought it was a great crowd. I thought it was awesome for the Federal Hockey League to put on maybe their first school day game. So it's fun to have the kids in the building and have all that success. Obviously, we didn't get the result we wanted, but learning curve, and we just move on from there.
Yeah, you mentioned the result, a 5-3 loss for the team, but for an 8-goal game, almost half of the game was scoreless. When you look at the shot on goal tally, it was very even through the first 2 periods, but Columbus was getting peppered at the early stages. I know Athens would have control at one point at 2-0, but how different could things have been if the team took those early chances on?
Yeah, once again, we got to put pucks in our net. We got to manage our emotions. We got to win the special teams battle. I think I've mentioned that several times now on our coaches show here. I think we went 0 for 10 possibly on that. Maybe we got one at the end. I'm not sure which Shinks was possibly, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you got to stay to the penalty box. You got to limit those penalties that are hooks and being on the wrong side of the puck and getting yourself into those positions and being down. Did I agree with some of the 5-on-3s? Obviously not. I don't know. Sometimes you just got to bite your tongue and take it for what it is at some point. Thought there's a little bit of embellishments and a little bit of tomfoolery out there, you might say, to go down in a good hockey game. That was kind of seesaw battle back and forth. To go down 2 5-on-3s was a little bit questionable for me, but it is what it is. We need to be better, and we need to get through that kind of stuff and then stay the course. But that's on us for definitely letting that one slip away. When you go up 2-0, you need to lock a game down and put it to bed.
Yeah, you bring it up. Your special teams, obviously a big part of that game. The River Dragons score 3 goals in 5 minutes, all on the power play. Whether it be not taking the penalties themselves, and as you said, maybe those could be debated, those calls that were made, or being able to kill off the penalties, which we've done well on 5-on-3 this year, and we've had some good 5-on-3 kills even in the past week. The differences that you saw, what do you wish went differently about those 5 minutes in general?
Yeah, I just wish we didn't put ourselves in those positions to shoot ourselves in the foot. So again, reiterate, we have to be able to get big kills at big times in games. We need to be able to know when the game's at 2-0 of when and where to put our sticks, what side of the puck you need to be on. That's the defensive side. You can't get caught down in their zone. Just, you know what I mean? Tracking the puck and being in a bad position, like even on the game winner, I think, it went off Shink's escape, but we had one of our guys down below the goal line, and like, what are you doing down there? Like, you got 0 goals in the season basically, and you're down there trying to press the situation. It gets rimmed around, and next thing you know, you're chasing the puck and it ends up in the back of our net. So again, I thought we lacked a little bit of details in the third period. It wasn't exactly how I drew it up or how it planned, but again, it's a learning curve, and just goes to show you, it's never say never. Any given night, anybody can beat anybody.
It seemed like Carter Shinkarik would have some late stage heroics that would save us once again, or would maybe send us at least into overtime. But Kyle Moore and Columbus took the lead right back with 1.5 minutes left in regulation. I think the team and the fans have been the beneficiaries so many times this year of the boys' mentality to go out and win and get all 3 points in regulation, no matter what position, losing position they may be in the game. Is that mentality, though, sometimes a double-edged sword when you might want to, you might walk that tightrope to try and get all 3 points? But if you could hold on, you'll get at least 1 and maybe get the chance for 2.
Yeah, it's something you don't want to put yourself in position, because eventually it's going to bite you. I just feel like I'm disappointed in it, because we go into Monroe, we get 5 out of 6 points, I guess, going into Monroe, and then you waste that away in the third period when you're already up 2-0. It's kind of like a wasted weekend. We keep handing them back first place, or that seesaw battle. So depending on where we end up at the end of the season, it's one of those couple games here that you look back on and you're like, coulda, shoulda, and woulda, kind of. We only have ourselves to blame for that.
Well, team is still in pole position to stay atop the Continental Division. Monroe is up by 2 points with a game at hand. Rather, we have the game at hand. But a good habit that the team has made this year is that it seems like they always bounce back from a loss with a win. And it was a real feel-good win on Friday in Baton Rouge. A 4-goal first period drove Ed Coffey out of the game. I know Baton Rouge isn't in as good of a position in the standings as Columbus. Ultimately, they would win the next night as well. But were the differences from Wednesday to Friday as simple as a difference in competition, or was there a difference in execution from our team as well?
I think just execution and mindset. We were ready to play. We were hungry to score goals. We were good off the rush, but we were good defensively. We were good, crisp. We didn't put ourselves in bad positions. I think there was 2 penalties all game, and I think one of them was a bench penalty, right? So, again, you go to see when teams play us 5-on-5. We're a hard team to play against. It's when we shoot ourselves in the foot and we get involved in the extra stuff that's going to cost us in the long run. But something that's been addressed, and we need to be right on the line and know that we're going to get a few penalties, but we've set a bar where we need to be at max penalties for a game, and that's at basically 6 minutes a night. So 3 2 minutes is basically what we've agreed on, and that's where we hold ourselves to.
In that game, mostly young goal scorers in that game for Athens. Jesse Lowell, Joe Mack, John Calgin, Gleb Van Durken. We've talked before about the guys like the Garrett Millans, the Eric Neelys, the Carter Shinkariks, about how much the veteran guys can pull the team into the fight. But how valuable is this kind of player that seems like it's all throughout the team? These guys who are so young and yet somehow so experienced in the game in their own right.
Yeah, I know, Machine, we've talked about it before. The recruiting process is bringing in good people and captains and guys that's played in good leagues and good school programs. So they're all winners. They've all done something in their young careers already. So it's no surprise to me what they're bringing to Athens. And like, you see our arena, you see our facility, you see the program that Scott and the front staff has built, and even go back to Marty's culture and what he's built here from the first year. It just adds on to good people, and then guys come in, they hit the ground running real quick, and it just feels like home really quick. Our fans make the boys feel like home. I think Athens is a fun place to be for a hockey player, and I think guys are comfortable, and they see that really quickly once they become a Rock Lobster. So it's easy for a coach to have success here, especially the players.
Well, one of those guys that you bring up, a captain that you brought in out of Adrian College, that brings up John Calgin, and he got off the mark with a nice little release on the break. His friendship with Joe Mack is a big reason why John is here. And I wonder if it just made sense to kind of pair those two together on a line like you have. Do you hope in those situations that the chemistry that two guys have off the ice translates on the ice as well?
Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But obviously, when you play two guys together that's familiar with each other, growing up with each other, and they have that common balance with each other, you got a brotherhood like no other kind of thing, a best friend mentality. So you'll see him bounce around, just trying to find John a spot where he does fit. I don't know if that's the right fit or not with Macker. So, but no, definitely it's great to have both those guys. Anything like once you have your friend here, it's makes everybody at ease, and it's a good spot to be in. It's good to see John have a smile on his face playing hockey again.
Right now, the line that has the steadiest presence is that of Eric Neely, Jesse Lowell, and Gleb Binderkin. When we see those pretty tic-tac goals on the ice like we saw on Friday against Baton Rouge, more often than not, it feels like it's that line. Does that line's production boil down not just to their obvious talents that they all three have, but also to their unselfishness and a willingness to always find each other on the ice?
Yeah, I don't think any of them care who scores the goal. I think they work together as a cohesive unit. I think they're really good. I think Eric Neely brings a lot of veteran leadership to that line, and other guys on our team for sure. So you see them talking all the time on the bench, how they're playing and stuff. But it's also just like they put pucks to the right place. They're always got their feet moving. They're working. They're not afraid to go to the net where goals are scored. So night in, night out, you're going to see that line probably together, and they contribute on most nights for us.
For those of you watching at home, make sure you stay tuned. Next week, we've got our Lobster Tales with Eric Neely coming up. You can go to the Facebook Athens Rock Lobster fan page or to r/Rock Lobsters on Reddit to make sure that you get your questions in for him. I know at the moment right now, Parks Owensby is not with the organization, but he came into that game for his first competitive minutes of the season. And that was great for a couple of reasons. It gave Parks his pro debut here in the States, but it also gave McPhail a bit of respite in that game and what has been a busy period for him. Was that a spur of the moment decision on the bench for you? Or did you, think that if the opportunity was there, I'm going to take the chance and give McPhail some rest, put Parks in?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought about a pre-game kind of thing. If we did get up, I was going to put Parks in at some point in the game. Just, again, I thought it was the right thing to do. Parks has been a great soldier for our organization. He's done it well. Being a soldier in Columbus, too, goes back to my Carolina days, too. He used to drive a guy from Raleigh to practice all the time and be our practice goalie. So Parks has spent a lot of times in the net for the guys at practice when we were short a goalie and stopping pucks. And he's just a good kid, I guess, young adult, I might say. So out there spending the extra time. Out there, guys shooting one-timers at him and goalie dekes and shootouts and everything else that you got to go through as a goalie. So I just thought it was the right thing to do. I thought he deserved it. It was great to see the boys get up on the bench too. They were loving it too, him going in the net and making a few good saves and made that big glove save right off the bat when he was out there. So it was awesome to see. I'm glad we got him in the net to say that he played some minutes for us for the Athens Rock Lobsters for sure.
I'll talk about this more in a second. We knew what this Zydeco team was capable of based on how they upsetted Monroe a couple weeks before. But we saw a different Baton Rouge team the next night on Saturday, and they really brought the fight in a 6-3 loss for Athens. Same thing that I kind of was thinking about Wednesday, but for different reasons. It's a loss to me that felt like it followed a different script from some of our other losses this season. What do you think went so different from night one to night two?
I think guys are trying to do too much, to be honest with you. I think they got away from our core values as a hockey team. I think We didn't defend well. We didn't pick guys up off the rush. We were kind of like looking at other guys to do our job, whether it be, oh, well, McPhail will get this one. Oh, well, Shinks will be back, and he doesn't get back, and it ends up back in your net. We had bad pinches. We did some awful things that were not characteristic to our game. It's unacceptable to our group, to be quite honest with you. I wasn't happy with that effort put forth, might say. Like, we had chances that just didn't go in the net, and then everything they shot seemed to go in the net or bounce right on their stick, or, you know what I mean? But chalk it up to another, you know what I mean, a learning curve. It is, like, I guess it is what it is. Like, you can't go back and script how you want the game to go. But it's, again, it's unfortunate to miss those points again, to put them in the bank against teams that we need to beat all the time. So, but credit to the Zydeco. Like, they come in, work every single night. The one thing I was telling their coach, they work hard. They might not be the most skilled team, but they work hard. So they're not, their record's not as bad as what they are. We got some good young guys over there, and they just keep coming at you. So if you want to play a little high-risk hockey and not take care of your zone and have strong side pinches and do a bunch of cowboy stuff, it's going to hurt you in the long run, and eventually it did. So it's I think it's a wake-up call for the boys for sure. I know they weren't happy about it, and it was a quiet bus ride home for sure.
I remember you saying about that Baton Rouge win in Monroe that in that game they ended the 18-game win streak for the Moccasins, that they poked, they prodded, they got some bounces, and things leaked through. Do you think that there were similar wins in context for Baton Rouge, the win against Monroe and the win against the Rock Lobsters?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought we were on the wrong side of the puck. We didn't get under sticks. We didn't box guys out. We didn't clean up some of the rebounds. Maybe McPhail wasn't exactly as sticky as always. And pucks were laying there, and they got to him. It's unacceptable. We did a bunch of flybys. We didn't end in our D-zone arrival. We didn't stick to what has made us successful this season. We got off that. We thought we were going to be a bunch of beauties out there, and that didn't happen. So there's a hard message for the boys. And like I said, you can only get back to it and start practicing this week and flush her down the toilet and get ready for Sunday.
Putting myself in your shoes, which is such a difficult thing to do, it seems like you're in this.
I'm
size 12. I don't know.
11. I'm 11, so you're going to have to probably undo them a little bit. So.
Yeah, I'm at 12. I would have to squeeze into those. Yeah. It seems like you're in this sticky situation on the season right now where you're trying to find this balance between cultivating depth for the playoff run, bringing new players in, keeping veterans fresh, while also trying to stay at the top of the division and keep the chemistry on your lines. Right now, is there a bigger priority from that list that you feel like is foremost on your mind?
Yeah, I think getting the cohesive in the group back, getting our line pairings back together, kind of we've been juggling them a little bit too much. Maybe that's on me. So, yeah, it's just you got to keep up with the Federal Hockey League. You got to keep trying to make your team better. You also need to know that playing pro hockey, someone's trying to take your job all the time. So guys get brought in. You're battling for a position out there. So at the end of the day, we can only have 20 guys on our roster, 21 with the third goalie. So it's tough competition. And like I said, guys are calling because our hockey team's good, our organization's good, our arena's good, the city's good, and who doesn't want to play hockey in the South? So looking at that, hockey players pick up the phone when they're looking for a job, and some of these guys are pretty good. So it's up to me to make sure I'm making the right calls. And obviously we don't want them going to other locations that we might be playing against. So I'm going to take a good look at them for sure.
The window to sign college players is now open, and I'm sure we'll see some get signed along the stretch here before playoffs. But I wanted to pick your brain real quick. You know, earlier on in the season, I guess it was back in August of 2025, the NCAA made a decision that would allow guys from the CHL to be able to sign for NCAA programs. And I think that that's something that has huge implications down the stretch for a league like the FPHL. Do you agree with that sentiment, and what do you think that means for level? Welcome back to Akins Ford Arena here in Athens, Georgia, for Hops and Hockey Night. The puck was hopping around in the first period, and the Lobsters just could not seem to settle it down. Multiple times they hit the metalwork, the goal frame in the first period. And unfortunately, it was that man who was the only man to be beat in the first period, Jan Salak, with a goal around the halfway mark of the first period. is the difference maker in this game. But 20 minutes on the clock for the middle frame. We apologize for any issues you might be having on the lagging side of things. Internet has been a little volatile here ever since the start of the first intermission. I just can't seem to catch a break. Technology is not working with me right now, but I do think we have our score bug fixed. We hope we can troubleshoot for you along the way here. Awkward pop-up there right on the face-off. Puck already out of play, 7 seconds in. Just did a quick start-stop on the stream, and hopefully that fixes things. It has before. Face-off win for Athens. Now working left to right here for this second period. Wearing the navy blues for Hobson Hockey. Drop pass from Milan, drops it straight into the lap of Jan Salak. Salak again. Trying to find some freedom. Deprived to him by Eric Neely. Salak gets a return pass. Nate Keeley being tied up by Jack Johansson. Salak, a big man, able to stiff arm Milan away. Here's Johnson. In all alone against Connor Craig. Bumped away from the puck was Craig by Johnson. Rock Lobsters down a goal here to start the second. This line of Milan, Neely, and Johnson still trying to work the kinks out. First time these three have played together. Entering in on the left side, Connor Craig backhanding it towards the slot. Stopped there by Devin Maye, whose mother and brother I just got to meet up here in the booth. Smart idea there from Gallant, but no one was there short side for the stuff-in. Philip Virgili with a slapper. Comes off of Babic. No Rock Lobster on the rebound. Look at the speed of Zach White. Such a quick skater. Comes off the side of McPhail's net. Shinkarik has a chance to show off a bit of the speed himself. Over the red line, over both blues. Steps on the brakes, backhands it towards Gallant. Through the skates, centering pass. Virgili with a smack in at it. Gets blocked by Twin City. Shinkarik on to the backhand himself. Mack sends it around on a trip. Gallant from the corner to the end boards. Virgili back to Gallant. In behind is Shinkarik marauding from the blue line. Shinkarik on a spin now. And he'll have to field it in the middle ice. Joe Mack, Devin Maye, the defenseman who's getting so much in on the attacking mix. Kaysen Gallant taking a chance on a slapper, wide of the mark. Virgili trying to make that puck fall out of midair. Falls to Gallant. Hits the post again. Joe Mack with a slap, deflected by Virgili, out of play. Right now, the most valuable player for the Thunderbirds. Salak is up there in contention, but the goal frames for both nets in this game might be quite a good candidate for such as well. Van Durken, Croucher, and Glukaryov. Line here for the Rock Lobsters, a reunion of such. Van Durken, Glukaryov to Croucher out in front. That's out of play. And I believe that's going to be a delay of game. Bit of a pensive look there from Corey Cunningham. It will sit 2 minutes delay of game. A golden opportunity for the Rock Lobsters to strike back on a Paloma Park power play. And if the Rock Lobsters score on the quadruple P, fans can unlock free churros at Paloma Park for 24 hours through the Fan Saves app.
Back in the white claw face-off zone. Red white by the claw.
Second power play of the game for the Rock Lobsters, but the big penalty tonight was abuse of officials from Gus Ford. He was ejected from the game, shouldered away, shrugged off by Babic. Shinkarik off the wall. Mack pops it, falls back down for Captain Fantastic. Croucher here on the right side. Milan running the point. Croucher tiptoeing in, gathering some speed in the right circle. But misses Carter Shinkarik with a pass, and McPhail will come way out to try and help recycle this puck a little bit quicker. Croucher, one of the speediest skaters that the Rock Lobsters possess. Good work on the back check there from Matt Garcia here on the PK for the Twin City Thunderbirds. Shinkarik. Lowell unable to gather off the boards. McPhail fakes one way, goes the other. His fellow Carter in behind him. Shinkarik tiptoeing out. Van Durkin getting the boulder rolling downhill. Glukarioff with Lowell behind him. Banks it back to the Russian rifle. The Moscow Mule at the hash marks. Glukarioff steps in the left circle. Eric Neely down at the corner. Maye stops it with a backhand. Glukarioff thinking about the shot. Jesse Lowell twists and turns, doesn't get any shot off. Glukarioff with a pinch on the far side. Glove down by Lowell. Maye sends it to the net, picks it back up, and it's sent the other way by Twin City, and that'll do it for the Rock Lobster power play. Eric Neely trying to do it himself, got caught in a body of water there and got drowned out by the Thunderbirds, unfortunately. A laser of a shot, Petita into the glass behind McPhail. Salak, the goal scorer in this game. Greco poking and prodding. LaBelle batted away by the blocker of McPhail. Malik Johnson. Michael Greco joining him on the rush. Greco made a good read there on what Babic's next move would be. Gallant trying to chop it back into contention. Stopped by the skate of Salak in front of Babic. Michael Greco. The pass there up the elevator shaft. Virgili pirouettes out to the left. Puck out to the left as well. Presence here for the Thunderbirds on their left wing. Long time without a stoppage. McPhail with the airmail. Connor Craig got the delivery. Picked up by Gallant at the line. Johnson down to his knees. Gallant to the back door. Milan didn't get a touch. Dion Demke wearing 36 for the Thunderbirds, just as Garcia did for the Rock Lobsters. Both of them former Athens players. Milan does just enough to get it away, and Paralat through a body, gets it poked. Paralat again, still loose at the front door, and Babic gets a glove over it. Couple of bodies colliding. Garrett Milan trying to get at Cade Hanley there. Dion Demke around the scrum as well. Athens with 16 shots on net to Twin City's 10, and still Not anything to show for it just yet. We go to a commercial break here. The Rock Lobsters getting dangerously close to equalizing, but still down 1-0 against the Thunderbirds.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
Athens down in this game 1-0. It's not like they haven't had their chances to get back in it, including 2 power play chances against a team that is second bottom in the FPHL for their penalty kill rate. A 70.5% clip, ranks 13th out of 14 teams. Still plenty of game remaining in this one, though, more than half of it to go. An afternoon Sunday matinee. Rock Lobsters against the Thunderbirds. Garrett Rutledge going up against the team that he was formerly at the helm of. Maye with a knuckler over the head of Babic. Here's Maye again with his family in the building. He has 2 goals in his past 3 games. Maye here with a pinch. Needs to be careful not to get caught out. Milan is now at the point for him. Milan getting up in here in the mix. Shinkarik in behind. Poked away from Garcia. Almost a dangerous giveaway. Tremendous pass, but White unable to handle it. It was a little too hot. Was it offsides? Was it not? Either way, it's kicked away. The shot from Milan. Shinkarik does just enough to find Garrett Milan at center ice. Croucher can't work the flank up to Maye. Gets taken down by Kramer. Batista protecting from Van Durken. Trying to get it on his stronger side. Sends a dump in straight into the skate of Glukaryov. Salak steps through. Maye trying to find a teammate. Batista out to the right. Connor Craig. Carter McPhail with a save. The Rock Lobsters have got themselves in dangerous areas, but this feels like lately the level of execution has not been the same in those kinds of areas as we saw it in October, November, December, and January. As you might have heard during our Coach's Corner segment, I kind of remarked to Garrett Rutledge the tough spot he's in to try and bring new players in, keep veterans fresh, and also try to keep the chemistry between the 3 lines and 10 forwards he has. Joe Mack, such a game changer in his ferocity over the dot. Good face-off win. Jack Johansson watches it onto the blade of his stick. Can't ride the wall up to Gallant, but is able to bully the puck over to the Red Deer Rocket. Gallant centers it. Jack Johansson's looking for his first goal as a professional. Virgili takes a spill out of the scrum. Lofted in by Batista. McPhail wants the icing. Joe Mack. 2-goal performance last Friday versus Baton Rouge. Same building he has his lone pro hat trick. But Garrett Milan has really been the man for the Rock Lobsters. 17 points in his 8-game point streak. That included a goal and an assist in that 6-3 loss in Baton Rouge. Garrett Rutledge often likes his chances at the roulette table, and he's deploying Garrett Milan as a defenseman here. We often see him do that in offensive zone face-off situations to try and give his team a little bit more bite in the dangerous areas. Croucher. Bukaryov, the Russian, racing back to the neutral ice to get on sides. Croucher with a giveaway. Cunningham gets wrecked by the wrecking ball. Might spring Croucher the other way. Great defensive move there by the man who's just games into his professional career, Tristan Mughal. Bukaryov. Paralat touch pass, Neely right back to the man out of Saskatoon. Deprived of any shooting chance by James Farmer, who shepherded him to the end boards and away from the puck. Kolatarsi with a crushing hit of his own on Chris Mott. Johnson skates it through the crease, finds Lowell on the left side. Lowell with a blazer. Gets his own rebound off the wall. Tries to wrap it around, doesn't go. Neely gets his stick slashed, and the Rock Lobsters are going back to the man advantage. Rock Lobsters 0 for 2 tonight on the power play against one of the least efficient teams on the penalty kill this year. Will they get their first goal, and will it come on the man advantage after this commercial break?
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Athens have been down a goal for about 20 plus minutes at this point, but they'll have their third power play of the day. As we mentioned, this is a Rock Lobster team that hasn't struggled that much. I have we had a little bit of issues there on my ticker side now. Update there. Rock Lobsters 22.1% right now. Skips like a stone wide. Eric Neely into the glove. What a save by Boris Babic at point blank range from a man with one of the most wicked releases in the FPHL with Eric Neely. Interesting scoreline over in Blue Ridge, a game that Twin City fans will be watching. Right now, the Thunderbirds have to win every game they can and hope for more stumbles for their Carolina counterpart, the PD Ice Cats. So about 1:45 to go. A good chance for Athens in the opening seconds of this third power play of the night from Eric Neely, who stung the palm of Boris Babic. Here's Neely again. Drops it. Maya at the center of the point. Neely able to shepherd it. Can't center it to Van Durken. McPhail gets there ahead of White. Banks it off of his own net towards Maya. 40 seconds gone now on this power play. Lowell gets pushed down to the ice by James Farmer, and it'll be 5-on-3. At least a minute 10 of 5-on-3 time coming up against a Twin City team that has greatly struggled down one man this season. How will they look here down two? Garcia is already sitting 2 minutes for slashing. There's potentially a trip there on Farmer. Two more minutes of power play, a minute 10 of 5-on-3 for the Rock Lobsters. Trying to earn fans free churros through the Fan Saves app. Can they get their first goal of the night with a two-man advantage? Maye right in front of the right circle. Shinkarik unloads one. Gallant can't bat it out of midair past Babic. McPhail settles. He needs to recycle quickly, and he does. Shinkarik gathering speed as Hanley was taking a piece of Gallant. Drops it. Milan, quick exchange with Captain Fantastic. Down low is Neely. Devin Maye. Trying to work openings here on the 5-on-3. Shot from Milan. Over the frame. Milan kind of directing traffic here almost like a point guard. 15 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. The Rock Lobsters need to fire some shots in. A compact formation here from the Thunderbirds. Milan sends a butterfly wide. Thunderbirds get one back in Garcia. It's 5-on-4 now. Shinkarik not trying to force the issue to Milan. Instead finds Neely in the far corner. Milan lets it run. Maye able to just poke it over to Neely. Neely with a blast off the pads of Babic. Babic, the 28-year-old Slovakian, making some big saves tonight, gets stung with a left-hand shot of Devin Maye. .641 remaining in the second period, and the Rock Lobsters look like they're about to go 0 for 4 on a power play, which they had 5-on-3 on. Croucher with a stinger from right out in front of the slot. And Babic has made some tremendous saves in this game. That is save number 26 on the night. Croucher trying to make it goals in back-to-back games. Michael Greco doesn't take the shot, leads to a break for White, his second of the game, and this one he scores. Not good enough from the Rock Lobsters. Stagnant stuff from Athens. They can't get it done on the 5-on-3, and with seconds remaining on Farmer's penalty, a giveaway from Athens on a whiffed shot leads to a breakaway goal for White. And now we're skating back 5 apiece. Here's Glukarioff. Rock Lobsters still on search for a goal. Through Connor Craig, Glukarioff up the left wing. Johnson through the legs. Feeds it through there for LaBelle. Perlat, a hard banker towards Van Durken, who is trying to reach in there at the blade of Connor Craig's stick. Perlat with the right skate. Johnson. Van Durken, the Russian on the right. That one skied into the stands. Strong performance from Babic, and it's shot number 12 on the afternoon that has Twin City up 2-0. Zach White's 21st of the year goes unassisted. A breakaway that he sprung himself on the shot that was left by Michael Greco. Special teams remaining an issue for the Rock Lobsters. Only the third shorthanded goal of the year for the Thunderbirds. Maye with a blast. Asking some questions of Babic, but Babic has been equal to everything tonight. Here's White again, getting past Shinkarik, backhand, forehand, trying to go 5-hole on McPhail, who squeezes the quads. Gallant looking for an option out of the right circle, opts for shot. The defenseman pushing up on both wings, Shinkarik on the left and Maye on the right. Glove down by Captain Fantastic. Backhanded towards Gallant. Catches Babic up high. Virgili spins and scores! It's just what the doctor ordered. But who got the crucial touch? Let's take another look, courtesy of Classic City Orthodontics. Carter Shinkarik able to stick handle through traffic. Casey Gallant with the initial shot. Philip Virgili wheels away on the celebration. It is just what the doctor ordered for the Rock Lobsters. And we'll see. It looks like it's being given to Philip Virgili, his 16th of the year, from Gallant and Shinkarik. Athens have found a little bit of gas in the tank. They cannot get their foot off the pedal. Neely's wrister, wide right. We've got a penalty on the play. And Milan trying to get at someone there. I think it's Dion Demke. Him and Milan barking at one another. Milan will sit at an inopportune time. The Rock Lobsters take a penalty right after they get a goal back. We send it back to another timeout here in the tank. The Rock Lobsters, through Philip Virgili, have made it a one-goal game. They found some gas in the tank, but can they keep their foot on the accelerator? Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Sometimes it feels like Athens just needs to show themselves that they can do it, and they get one back. Couldn't really even see on the replay what happened on Philip Virgili's goal that pulled the team to within 1 in the contest. But right after they get the work done to get within a goal, now they have to protect their net on the first Leslie Jones Law penalty kill of the night. Well, the penalty kill has struggled for Twin City this year. Power play is a little bit more middle of the pack. Neely, nice little move there on Mott. Neely will opt for the shot himself. Gets to his own rebound. Able to drag it around Cunningham there. Neely loading back up. Going on a nice little tour of the ice. Nice time shed off there on the man advantage for Twin City, and then Neely sends out the signal to make the personnel change. Drop pass on the one time. Kramer getting pinned to the boards. Shinkarik looking for the clearance, stopped by Zach White, who has the leading goal right now. Hard off the stick of Kramer, off the top of the window. Falls down for Salak, who got the scoring started in the first period. Here's White again. Able to kick the leg, send the shot off of McPhail down. White once more. LaBelle, tall, lanky character. Kolatarsi brings Salak down to the ice. 30 seconds to go on the Twin City power play. Chris Mott looking for freedom. LaBelle fakes a slapper. White, short side, batted down by McPhail and make the freeze. I don't think there's been any confirmation of what the penalty against Milan was. We saw him get pretty up close to former teammate Dion Demke, so I wonder if it was a roughing call. But it's not coming through on the federal hockey side either. Rock Lobsters just 23 seconds away from killing off that penalty. Face-off one, crucially for the team from Carolina, formerly known as the Carolina Thunderbirds, rebranded to Twin City before this season. Keeley around for Farmer. Poked, prodded at by Glukaryov. Johansson under the hood. Van Durken there helping on the joust for possession, and Milan there springing out of the box. Puck gets out in front. Cunningham in the midsection of McPhail, sent down, and Athens will ice. Happy just to get the puck out of danger's way with certainty. Face-off will get taken back down out in front of McPhail, who seems to have settled down a little bit. He's made some big-time saves over the past few minutes. Meanwhile, the Rock Lobsters looking for shot on goal number 32. They've logged 31 thus far. LaBelle off the stick of Johansson. Luckily for McPhail, that took it wide instead of his way. Van Durken and Milan getting in each other's way. Glukaryov with a hip check there on Chris Mott. Backhanded out to the right from Kramer to Craig. Johansson, nice little move to relieve the pressure out of his own zone. Johansson with a shot. Second shot! It's his first as a Lobster! Give it up for JoJo! He has been on the hunt for so long now, has joked about it with the boys, joked about it with me, but the wait is finally over for the man out of Milford, New Hampshire. Gets 2 bites of the cherry, and it's so sweet. Jack Johansson, his first goal as a pro. Time after time before every road trip, Jack Johansson would pass me in the bus and I'd say, this is the one, JoJo, this is the one. But now the wait is finally over. And that one wiffle balls into the stands here. The tide is turning in the tank a little bit. Sometimes when you're down in the fight, it'll take an unlikely suspect to pull you into the fight. And with a goal with less than a minute to go in the second period, it's Jack Johansson's first of the year. Big hit. Greco's used to being on the delivering end of those hits and not on the receiving. Took a big hit from Nate Keeley, who's more of a two-way forward. You might see the amount of points that he's logged on the year. Jason Gallant, Paralat, combining their 2 Western Canadian boys. McPhail backhands it for Mac, 2 Michigan boys connecting there. That'll do it for the action in the second. Athens found their feet in their middle frame, and it came at a crucial time to soothe the nerves a little bit into the second intermission. Let's take a look at how it all went down thanks to Classic City Orthodontics. Brace for this one. Boris Babic had been tremendous through really 40 minutes. He's made 28 saves in this game. Rather 29 on 31 shots. Rock Lobsters looks like they found a little bit more of the physicality in the second period too. This is the goal that finally broke things open for the Rock Lobsters. Philip Virgili with a pirouette towards the crease. That's the cleanest look that we've got at it. Here's another one from behind the net here. Virgili there on the loose puck. It looks like it comes off of Chris Mott there last. But then here is the beautiful moment. Jack Johansson able to just pass it into the corner on the second bite of the cherry. And the man out of Milford, New Hampshire has his first goal as a pro, first goal of the season, and a first goal as a Rock Lobster, as Athens is able to tie things up at 2-2 right before the second intermission. And this second intermission is special for us on the broadcast side. Not often have we shown you a Lobster Tales segment that is not yet released on YouTube, but thanks to the work of Steven Turner, he's able to give us a little bit more of a stripped down version. He's working on a full edit to get it for you on YouTube. Here is the premiere, the debut of our Lobster Tales segment with this week's guest, Eric Neely. Hey there, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to Lobster Tales on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It's your method into learning more about the lobsters that you love. And my guest today is the man who has seen it all, from D1 hockey to the AHL to across the pond, and now a highlight of the tank, personification of dad strength on and off the ice. Welcome to the show, Eric Neely. Niels, exciting to have you on, man. A big thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
I think one of the cool things about hockey coming to Athens is that, you know, you have this new generation here in this city learning about the game and starting on their own path. And I think you're the kind of guy that young hockey players want to kind of grow up to be. What did the start of your path in hockey look like?
So I actually probably started later than most of the guys on the team. I think I probably started skating around 6 or 7. My aunt got tickets to a Flyers game, and she took me and my brother, and I came home the next day, and I was like, Mom, Dad, I want to play hockey. And then it kind of went from there. So it all started thanks to corporate tickets.
Well, that was the very start, but after that, from junior hockey into high school, it seems like you really saw a lot of the East Coast growing up. You were born in PA, played junior hockey in New Jersey, went to boarding school in New Hampshire. Was it just hockey that was the main reason for all that travel growing up?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, obviously going to prep school and then to Dartmouth, my parents had always stressed education as well. I mean, you never know how long you're going to be able to play hockey. I mean, even the best of the best, they're done at some point. So education was a big part of it as well. And that's kind of led me more towards the prep school, boarding school route than juniors at the time, which I was kind of set on. But it all worked out and it was a blast. So
That boarding school was Phillips Exeter Academy. It's the sixth oldest boarding school in the US, a place that has a ton of history, a lot of famous alumni. I think Mark Zuckerberg went there just 7 years before you. As a 16, 17-year-old kid leaving home at such a young age, was there fear in going to Phillips Exeter, or even then, were you laser focused on what it is you wanted to accomplish?
I think the only fear was the academic part like, with some of those alumni. Like it was a rigorous school. It was tough. Um, but no, like once I settled in and found my way and hockey season started, everything kind of just fell into place and got comfortable. Once I was able to get on the ice, and that's actually I met my wife there. So obviously I had that going at the beginning. So it was a great experience. I wouldn't trade my 2 years there for anything.
You've kind of already started me off on my next question. You meet your wife here in New Hampshire. The love story between you and your wife feels like something straight out of one of the books my fiance reads. You being a hockey athlete out of PA, you meet a girl from Vermont who plays hockey. I know maybe it was a bit of a small pond environment to find each other, but how was it that you two found each other?
Yeah, and it actually happened on the ice. So the season didn't start until I think it was either just before or just after Thanksgiving, but we would have the ice from the start of school year up until the season started, and our backup goalie played soccer, so we need another goalie. So the girls' goalie came out with us, and every once in a while she would invite some of her teammates to come skate with us as well. And yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
And you guys would kind of almost split pass in college because you went to do your D1 hockey career at Dartmouth. I know you guys weren't too far separated. You in New Hampshire and Tam went to Union College in Schenectady, New York. What were those? Were those difficult years at all with you two both in new environments, but apart from one another?
Yes and no. I mean, anytime you add some distance, obviously it's gonna be tough. But her hometown was an hour from Dartmouth, so she was able to kind of come home, come see me. We would play at Union in the regular season, play at RPI, which was only 15 minutes away. Um, Made another trips there in the playoffs. Unfortunately, Union ended our season 2 years out of my four, so she had that over me. But no, I mean, it is what it is at that point. Like we're both doing our thing. She was killing it in school, and I was playing hockey. So
What ended up happening with Tam in her athletic career? Because I remember you telling me a story once where she was heavily recruited to potentially play hockey in college. She would end up uh, rowing crew at Union, and what happened there? Why did she not pursue hockey any further after that?
yeah, I mean, when I first met her, she was deciding between BU and Minnesota. So pretty two pretty good women's programs. But then senior year, she pretty much destroyed everything in her ankle, and it was kind of tough for her to put a skate on again after that. I think she went to Union thinking if it ever healed up, she would be able to play there. Never got to that point, unfortunately, and uh, the athletic part of her, competitiveness in her, she still wanted to do something. So that's kind of how she ended up with crew. A little more stability. You don't have to twist and turn on the ankle. So she enjoyed that, but it wasn't the same. I mean, she definitely feels like she missed out on that a little bit, but kind of just dove all into her studies and loved that. Went abroad her senior year. So um, kind of found a new passion, which is great.
Well, she kind of ended up being educationally a very astute in multiple different ways. You yourself, you would go on to Ivy League in Dartmouth, a school that is extremely difficult to get into, incredibly rigorous when you're there. What was it like for you to find the balance between student and athlete in your time as a student athlete?
I think that was the best thing Exeter did for me, was prepare me for what college was going to be like. Honestly, I think Exeter was harder than Dartmouth. I don't know if that was just the shock that I had when I got there, or if it really does that good of a job preparing you for some of those top academic colleges in the country. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to try and take any engineering classes or any sort of pre-med track or anything like that. I kind of had to pick and choose so that I could focus on the ice while also still getting the most out of my education. And I uh, I was a government major, kind of focused in international relations. So classes were interesting. I enjoyed it and got to play hockey.
It might be kind of a nebulous kind of question, but playing D1 hockey, going to the kind of academic institution that Dartmouth presents, when you look back, do you think your development in the sport of hockey was more profound, or was your development as a person and as a man more profound?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, you look at Dartmouth's past. Like I think it was maybe the '06 or '08 team there or something had 12 guys that played in the NHL. I mean, now the last couple of years, you got guys coming into the NHL out of Dartmouth. I think Drew O'Connor is probably the biggest one recently. But yeah, just the way it prepares you, the discipline you have to manage the school and the athletic side of it. No, I mean it was great. I don't think I'd be the person I am if I didn't go there, and I wouldn't change anything.
Was there kind of any, rubbing elbows kind of moments that stuck out from you from that time at Dartmouth when you look back? You kind of already mentioned it, the kind of level of players that Dartmouth produces, but also Ivy League hockey as a whole. It's kind of crazy that I played with that guy or against that guy. Like around that time, you must have played with or against Jimmy Vesey, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was there. He was at Harvard. I think he was maybe a year behind me. Uh, so my line mate at Exeter went to Harvard as well. So we were close, and I'd head down there in the spring and hang out with all those guys. So it was pretty cool to see the career that Jimmy ended up having. I kind of wish he was still stateside, but he's killing it in Switzerland now. No, but I mean, we played against a lot of great players, and Chris Wagner was at Colgate at the time. Austin Smith was at Colgate. Quinnipiac had a bunch of great players. Kenny Agostino at Yale. And then even my senior year, Hugh Jessamine had come back and he was graduating because he had just retired the previous season. I mean, 12th overall pick, 10-year professional career, kind of came back. And that was a good guy to be able to learn from senior year, who was finishing up kind of the career that I was hoping to just start the following season.
It's kind of crazy just how, long that list is, how expansive it is. It's funny, there's a multiple of instances in this team doing these kind of interviews with the boys where some of the boys looked up to an older brother for their inspiration in the game, but you were that older brother, and your brother Kevin followed in your footsteps at both Phillips Exeter and Dartmouth. Did having Kevin, as you navigated the different levels of the game, kind of change the way that you approached your own career, knowing that you weren't just carving out your own path, but maybe also kind of setting the standard for your younger brother?
Yeah, I don't know if we necessarily like set out to kind of follow in each other's paths, but I mean, he saw how much I enjoyed it, and he kind of figured like if I get the chance at these places, like it's hard to say no. Like both Exeter and Dartmouth for what it can set you up for afterwards, and especially for him, I don't think he quite had the. I mean, he was definitely the player. If he wanted to, he could have gone, but I don't think he had any interest in continuing to play after college. So he was able to take full advantage of like the alumni network that a place like Dartmouth provides.
Well, while your brother Kevin chose to end his hockey career there, you would then sign a PTO with the Providence Bruins in the AHL toward the end of your collegiate career. Such a huge accomplishment. I couldn't imagine what the feeling at that time was like. With everything that you've done in your career, where does that still rank among the accolades?
Yeah, I mean my first pro game was for Providence against Hartford in Hartford. I mean, that's it's kind of what you work for your whole time growing up is that first pro game, right? So my whole family drove up from Philly, so luckily it wasn't too far away. So that was definitely a special one. And then that was the only game I got in the spring that year, but just being around that team, I mean, they were pushing for the playoffs and being around, learning from those guys, like that's kind of you realize what it takes to be successful. And then the following year, going to rookie camp with Boston, main camp in Boston, those are things at the time you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. But then as you get older and you kind of look back and you can really learn a lot about things that you remember and what sticks out and all that. So yeah, it was definitely good.
What were the immediate things that you noticed in feeling out the difference in level, going straight from college to the AHL level is crazy.
Yeah, so luckily I had a teammate that was in Providence for that full season, Matt Lindblad, who I'd played with at school the year before, and having that comfort with somebody that's just like, hey, you're here for a reason. Like you can play here. Like I mean, it's fast. Like guys are flying. Um, it's cutthroat. I mean, you're one level away from not only life-changing money, but reaching the dream that everybody wants in the game. So practices are intense, games are intense, um, but it's a fun atmosphere to be around once you start soaking it in and learning from all the different guys. And then, but that was the best advice. Like you're here for a reason.
You would then head to the Atlanta Gladiators, a place that would become home for you in so many different ways, but there would be a few years with different destinations in between your stints there. During that first spell with the Glads in 2015, when you started out, did you have that thought, oh, I can see myself back here later on?
Honestly, no, not that first year. I mean, the first year was probably my rookie season was the toughest of my career. I was kind of bouncing back and forth between Atlanta and Providence, not playing a whole lot in Providence, coming down, not really having a role in Atlanta. So it was kind of tough going back and forth and not really being able to settle in to either spot. So then I kind of just made the decision the following year, like I'm just going to re-sign with Atlanta, go back to what I know, and just focus on winning a job and carving out a role. And then once I did that, kind of my career kind of took off from there in that league, which was good.
A couple of other teams that you would play in the ECHL, but sandwiched in between was a trip across the pond in England with the Sheffield Steelers and the Milton Keynes Lightning. How did that opportunity to go overseas come about?
Yeah, so I was playing in Adirondack, and it's funny to laugh about it now, 10 years later, but I thought I was going to be retiring at the end of that season. Um, my wife was working in Massachusetts at the time, and we were moving down to Florida. So I thought, like, and a friend of mine was playing in Dundee in the English league or the UK league, and he's like, "Hey, we need a guy. Like, are you interested?" And I wanted to go over there before my career was over, but then I talked to my agent. He was like, "Let me see what else is going on over there," and ended up with Sheffield, and like that place is amazing. Like we get treated well, they pack it. It was a great place to play. So ended up going over there, and yeah, that's a fun spot.
Is there a memory from your time there where you thought to yourself, maybe even more so off the ice than on the ice, like this could only happen here in England? Maybe like a bit of a culture shock moment for you at all?
Um, I don't know quite as much. Like, luckily, they all speak English over there.
Yeah.
But I think it was 2 weeks after I got there. Maybe we were in Belarus playing in the Continental Cup, and we were in the third place game, and we won. So we needed to wait for the championship game to end so that we could go out for the medal ceremony or whatever that is. But they wouldn't let us leave the arena before that. So some of the British guys started talking to fans that they knew were there, and they showed up with 15 cases of beer. So that's kind of what we did in the locker room during the championship game. And,
Take a quick look at some of the scores around the FPHL before we jump back into our own action here at Akins Ford Arena. A big one in terms of how important it is for the Twin City Thunderbird fans who might be watching. The PD Ice Cats are up 3-1 with every point dropped for the Thunderbirds and every point gained for the Ice Cats. That sends the Twin City team closer to out of playoff contention. Meanwhile, the other game happened in Indiana, Prowlers against the Sentinels, and that contest ended 3-2 in favor of the team from Indiana. So we await the re-arrival of the Athens Rock Lobsters. We remind you that you are watching the Athens Rock Lobsters either on Sportfeed, Peachtree Sports Network, or YouTube. And if you haven't already and you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to play a part in our world famous chat. Like the stream, ring the bell to stay notified of coaches' interviews, player interviews, highlight reels, and more. Rock Lobsters aren't the only team that's working hard on the ice. Off the ice, the Paul's Up crew, the official Booster Pub, is supporting our players with post-game meals, furnished apartments, and even bus blankets for those long winter rides that hopefully we won't have to see any more of. The long winter rides, that is. Hopefully the weather is warming up. Want to learn more or get involved yourself? Scan the QR code on your screen or visit arlbc.org today. Well, the Rock Lobsters found their fight, found their fire in the second period, and it came at the right time. Down 2 goals, Salak and White. Athens got their first through Virgili, pirouetted towards the net, sending one toward Babic, clattered off of Chris Mottinen. And then Jack Johansson able to feed himself on the rebound. Here he is on the puck. Jack Johansson's first pro goal. And for the New Hampshire native, it comes in his 43rd professional game. An early stoppage here, 9 seconds gone. A question in the chat. Twin City, Minnesota or North Carolina? It is Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And the Rock Lobsters will become more and more familiar with this Thunderbirds team than they already are. Of course, head coach Garrett Rutledge, the former head coach of the Thunderbirds, but some games home and home between these two teams in the month of March. That includes First Responders Night on March 14th. It's a little less than 2 weeks away. Tie up there between Keeley and Johansson. Here's John Batista, Thunderbird captain who commands so much respect for this Twin City franchise. Batista centers it out. Tiptoe save from McPhail. Going on a little trip around the world again. Backhand, forehand, Neely gets stopped out by Babic. And Neely can't believe it. We saw a little bit of that when the Rock Lobsters were on the penalty kill in the second period. The skating ability of Eric Neely, who we just heard from on our Lobster Tales segment during the second intermission. Got everything right but the punctuation mark. Mott and Van Durken. The Moscow Mule wins the faceoff. Shinkarik doesn't take the puck with him, but Glukaryov able to help him out. Croucher in behind the net, returns it to the Russian. Rifle! Van Durken getting down low, and a Babic save stops the Rock Lobsters' potential first lead of the game. Joust for possession once again in the far side corner. Garcia pokes it away from Gleb Van Durken. Shinkarik can't glove it down. Hot on his heels is the speedy Zach White, who scored goal number 21 on a breakaway in the second period. Danny Deeks, Danny dangles, Danny protects, drops it back to Van Durken and misses by a margin. Zach White skates it over the red line, dumps it in. Lone game on the weekend for the Rock Lobsters. They'll travel back to enemy territory next weekend, but familiar enemy territory, Florence, South Carolina. Babic cuts off the cross crease pass himself with the glove as Virgili was aiming for Mac. Look there at Matt Garcia, his first ever game as an opponent here at Akins Ford Arena. Scored the first ever home goal, first ever goal period in this building. And with no name bar, wearing number 4 is Tristan Mughal. Both he and his twin brother having represented the home country of their father in Pakistan. Kola fizzes one across the blue line. Virgili can't get there. Backhanded away by a Twin City player. Parallap back to Kola Tarsi. Great pass, riding the line. Virgili can't settle it down. Gallant trying to cast a spell on it. Birds able to clear their ice. Fail handles it in the trapezoid. As we talked about in the chat earlier on in the game, no trapezoid rule in the FPHL. Michael Greco. Johansson trying to split the ice for a pass towards Milan, and Milan getting animated with the officials once again. There's already been one number 10 who's been ejected from this game. I've gotten confirmation that it's for unnecessary language, is maybe the best way to put it, towards the officials. Nate Keeley going to take the face off here and loses out to Milan. Keeley looking for the banker. Shot blocked, I believe, by the big body of Johansson. Gets through Milan. Look at Neely. He looks like a man playing with his head on fire. Stings Babic with a shot, still loose out in front, and through the scramble, Keeley gets it away. Eric Neely looking hungry for a goal tonight. And another well-attended game here at Akins Ford Arena, here for Hops and Hockey Night, brought to you by Terrapin. Luke Croucher, that took a tip, I believe, off the stick of Glukarioff. Seems like the officials viewed it differently, icing against Athens. Thunderbirds coming off of a difficult loss last night against the Watertown Wolves at home in the Fairgrounds Arena. Rock Lobsters have doubled the Twin City shot tally in this game, 34-17, as you see on the upper left of your screen. Johansson around the wall. Croucher handling it with one hand. Van Durken, left circle shot, spills out to the far side. Touch pass, Kramer, behind him is White. Chris Mott completes the trio, 3 speedy skaters for the Thunderbirds. Backhand pass, Glukarioff, Croucher, touches it on to Maye. Van Durken splitting the seam! The Moscow Mule deflects it, goes bar down, and Athens has its first lead of the game! The Thunderbirds have given it away! Gleb Van Durken, a first-star performer in the Rock Lobsters' last win last Friday against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Boris Babic looks up to the sky in frustration, as he so often has this season. A man who must feel like he's been let down by his defense quite a bit. They've been pretty locked down on the game thus far, and he's made quite a bit of saves, but the Rock Lobsters are able to tickle the twine once again on Gleb Van Durken's 21st of the year, and that's blackjack, baby. Athens' first lead of the game comes about 4.5 minutes gone. I think it might have taken a piece of a Thunderbird before it made its way into the back of the net past Babic. And that's not the first time that that's happened in this game either. Van Durken from Maye and Croucher. Maye with a point, as we said earlier on in the broadcast. His family here in attendance. Got to meet his mother and brother during the second intermission. And as are most Canadians, very pleasant people to talk to. Athens fielding questions back in their own ice. Kolatarsi trying to get it around for Lowell. Here's Zach White in the corner. Lowell, so persistent in the way he plays the game, a team first guy. Keeley with bodies around him in the corner. Clever pass. Petita setting up the shot from LaBelle. A rocket over McPhail's cage. Will LaBelle think about it once again? Instead, this time it's Petita who's set up by his D partner. Perlat. Lowell is found with a heat-seeking pass. Milan got the feed, and that one is blazed 100 miles a minute into about row number 5 right under us here. Looking to see if everybody is okay down there, and hopefully that is the case. We go back to a commercial break. The Rock Lobsters have their first lead of the afternoon. Gleb Van Durken's 21st of the season has restored the vibe here at the Tank.
Hi, welcome to Chandler Jewelers. What would you like to learn today?
Looking for a new watch, something a little more fast, more precise.
Yeah, that one looks like it's seen better days. And let's get you something that can keep up.
Oh snap, I got a game to get to. Woo, plenty of time to spare.
This broadcast is brought to you by Thornton Brothers, your one-stop source for janitorial, safety, and packaging solutions. From restroom soap and protective eyewear to butcher paper and more. Thornton Brothers, they've got you covered. It was a sweet little moment on the Twin City bench during the kiss cam here at Akins Ford Arena. Josh LaBelle giving a little kiss to the helmet of a teammate there. I always love when opposing players are good sports about that kind of stuff. Milan slaps it off the wall there for the faceoff win. Here's Johnson getting dirty down below. Backhands it towards the slot. Neely didn't get a touch, but Greco will in the middle ice. Sends the quarterback pass right to left. Johnson meets the body of former teammate Chris Mott. And actually, they may not have overlapped their time together. Neely looking for that wicked release, trying to go short side, and Babic takes one off the neck. He's raising his hand here. I'm wondering if he has something wrong with his gear. Johansson, having tied the game up late on, less than a minute to go in the second period. Now the Rock Lobsters have their lead through Van Durken. The Moscow Mule giving the home team the host advantage, and Neely with a shot into a sensitive place of Babic. And it looks like there's starting to be some sensitivities down on the sheet there. Johnson has Farmer by the collar there and getting right in his face. Making sure that he knows that messing with Milan is not an option in the Classic City. .13:06 remaining. And what Athens hopes is a third and final period where they can get all 3 points. Saw a glimpse there. It looks like Matt Sales is wearing number 29 for the Rock Lobsters. The backup for Carter McPhail tonight. Sales had 4 of his 7 starts as an Ice Cat against Athens. And now here he is as a Rock Lobster, the Milton, Georgia native. 1-goal game, and now it's the Thunderbirds who are looking up at the scoreboard, trying to get one back and tie it up. It's been an admirable fight from the Thunderbirds, especially playing a vast majority of this game without their former MVP, former forward of the year, Gus Ford, who was ejected in the first period. Croucher with an interesting deflection as he was taken down to the ice by Demke. Could have gone anywhere, and luckily for Babick, it took it wide of the mark. There's Croucher with another interesting deflection, also wide right. Lukarioff hard off the skate of Demke, trying to chase it back down, but Demke gets it up the left side for Cunningham, cut out by Carter Shinkirik with help from Gleb Van Durken. Off the top of the glass, falls down in the Twin City zone. And I believe that's icing against Athens.
Thank you to Dalton Carpet One, Ford Home, for your help in making the Rock Lobsters feel at home at Akins Arena. Learn more about Dalton Carpet today.
Rock Lobsters have played all their games against the Thunderbirds this year at Akins Arena. That will change later on this month, as they will head to the Thunderbirds Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. Games coming fast and thick for the Rock Lobsters in the month of March. Maye hunts it down, takes a hip check from Keeley. Having a step there was Salak on Maye, 2 men who stand at 6'5". Shinkirik will ice again.
Icing on the play brought to you by Lockfire Athens. Party with VIP only at Lockfire Athens.
Daniil Glukarioff had a great start to this game in the first period, where he belted 2 pucks off the bar in the first 20. A little bit of Freebird to remind everyone in the building that the United States Olympic hockey team are gold medalists. The 2 Russians combining, Van Durken and Glukarioff, before the Russian rifle dumps it in past the red line. Nate Keeley past Paralat, trying to go 5-hole on McPhail. Able to get the pads together. Milan up the left to Johnson. Clatters into the boards from Keeley. All the way out, and McPhail getting there ahead of White. White having a couple of breakaways in this game, and he's converted on one of them as well. Poke check on the left side of the point from Johnson. Gets it into the zone. Neely here. On a pinch, in a pinch. Milan getting free. Kolatarsi fizzes it out to the right. Neely from the hash marks. Little deflection from Paralat through the legs. And here's the speed of White once again. Slightly more pensive than we've seen him in this game, however. And it's poked away by Kolatarsi. Little 2-on-2 play. Joe Mack trying to get an edge on Farmer. Keeps a handle. Johnson has a little bit more freedom. Mack with a shot that stings off the leg of Farmer. And now it's a 3-on-2 the other way. Here on the rush, Farmer with a mishandle. A snap shot from White. Wide right. Johnson with a dump in that's hard off Cade Hanley at a short distance. Gallant trying to ease it back toward the net front. Malik Johnson once again active in the forecheck. Tristan Mughal. Both he and his twin brother looking for their first points as professionals. Little pop from the point, never made it to McPhail, but Corey Cunningham almost found the top shelf. It's feeling more like a fight here at the midway point of the third period. Backhand centering pass from Demke doesn't go. Gallant through traffic, gives it up. Philip Virgili had space, but a tip on the pass from Johansson by Cunningham. Michael Greco, good poke check, takes it to the Lobster at center ice. Croucher, zone entry on the left side. Sends it deeper in the zone. Van Durkin backhands it to the man who wears number 3. It's a perfect feed to the back door, and guess who's there to touch it in once again? The Moscow Mule serves up a cocktail that tastes so good, and Athens has a 4-2 lead. And now Gleb Van Durkin will spend the next 9 minutes and 3 seconds on hat trick watch. It's a picture-perfect feed from Devin Maye, his second assist of the game, as the Moscow Mule sprinted to the farther post from Maye, and all he has to do is touch it in past Babic. Rock Lobsters had their first lead at 3-2 in the third period, and now they have their first multi-goal lead in the third. And with that goal, Crustacean Nation has won the Freddy Score with 4 free mini Sunday. For more information on how to get your Sunday here on Sunday, check out Fan Saves on how to redeem. A lot of standing around here. I wonder what's going on here. We'll see if we can find out after this commercial break. Rock Lobsters have a multi-goal lead next to Gleb Van Durkin. He scored the third. He has the 4th to his name as well.
Thank you for calling Tote Brothers. How may we help you?
When the call comes in, our team moves fast. Because in our world, every second counts. Every delivery means protecting people, product, and places no shortcuts, no excuses. From warehouses before sunrise to late night drop-offs when the rest of the city sleeps, we're the steady hands behind the scenes. On the arena floor, in the back hallways, and down to the locker room supplies, we help keep Athens ready, stocked, supplied, and moving. The fans feel it, the players count on it, the community depends on it. Thornton Brothers, proud sponsor of the Athens Rock Lobsters.
You want to move better, feel stronger, live healthier. Join Athens Health and Fitness today. Personal training, results-driven programs, and a community that pushes you. Check them out at athenshealthandfitness.com today. Make your home feel brand new. Dalton Carpet One has the flooring you've been dreaming of. Visit DaltonCarpet1.com today and step on to style. Well, it looks like we're coming to the end of a review here. The only thing I can think of is that it's a kicked goal, but it looks like it will count indeed for the Rock Lobsters, who hold on to their 4-2 lead. Wondering what prompted the review. As I just said, it feels like the only thing that could be reviewed there was if Van Durkin potentially kicked the puck in past Babic. Doesn't look like that's the case, and now Athens have both claws on the steering wheel at 4-2. And have shown some fortitude in this game as well. Down 2 goals at one point in the second period. They were able to tie it up in the final minute of the middle frame on Jack Johansson's first professional goal. And now it's Gleb Van Durkin's 22nd of the year. It was his 21st that gave the Athens Rock Lobsters their first lead of the game. And so it looks like here, it wasn't just a review, it was a review that was prompted by Twin City head coach Steve Harrison. And so the Rock Lobsters will have a chance to really twist their claws in on a Paloma Park power play, although it's been a night for the power play at least to forget. They are 0 for 4 on the night thus far. Oh, a nice little move in behind, but a good redemption arc there for James Farmer. Cunningham serving the penalty on the delay of game. Jesse Lowell, little stutter step, shake of the head, wraps it around, comes right back to him off the lower body of Craig. Here's Van Durken on hat trick watch. 2 goals, both here in the third period. Touch on Van Durken, and it's off the metalwork again. Must be at least the 5th or 6th time. Virgili takes a nasty spill there, and now the Rock Lobsters will go 5-on-3. I think Zach White's getting called for a hook. It'll actually be Chris Mott. Insult to injury for the former Rock Lobster. Athens have already failed to find a goal in 1 5-on-3 tonight. Confirmation here on the penalty will pull up here. A bench minor for delay of game that's being served by Corey Cunningham, as the review or the challenge from Steve Harrison did not go his way. Looks like we have a timeout here, as Garrett Rutledge really wants to make sure his team finds a finishing blow. Ice Cats and Bobcats. Fight of the felines in Blue Ridge. PD still with a 3-1 advantage. Rock Lobsters will have a little less than a minute, 5-on-3. And here's the unit to come out. How about this? It looks like it's 4 forwards and Carter Shinkarik, Delant, Joe Mack, Garrett Milan, Luke Croucher, and Carter Shinkarik. Chris Mott called 2 minutes for hooking. A chance here to really deal the dagger in the back of the Thunderbirds. 5-on-3 here, and a chance also to redeem a little bit of the look on the power play tonight. Athens has done enough now to win this game. Can they protect it? Can they add on to it? Power play 0 for 4 on the night against a team that has the 2nd worst penalty kill in the league. Mack wins the faceoff. Shinkarik shepherds it back for Milan. Shinkarik with a laser right up into the chest protector of Babic. And that's really what you need more of if you're the Rock Lobsters. Get those shot chances early and often with a 5-on-3. We didn't see that enough the first time around with 2-man advantage. Fans have treated themselves to some good Terrapin products here on Hops and Hockey. We'll be able to lift a Clawshank redemption in celebration. There's been some redemption for the Rock Lobsters tonight, but nothing's solidified until 3 points are in the bag. Croucher will take it all the way back to the point from the left side. Shinkarik with a laser once again. Catches one right in the throat, does Babic. Croucher this time sets up Milan. Using the athletic protector to help shepherd that one was a Slovakian, and it looks like that one stung a little bit. Boris Babic had a really tremendous year last season as the backup for the former FPHL goaltender of the year, Mario Cavalieri. Don't think Cavalieri is in the sport this season. Another thank you to all 415 of you who are watching on YouTube, even more of you on the Peachtree Sports Network on the TV wavelengths. Matt Garcia, good puck protection to help set up the clearance there. Shinkarik, drop pass. Croucher's there. Croucher has speed. Will he have precision to set up Milan? Babic with a save of the toenail on the right side. Croucher, Shinkarik has been so close. A mishandle from him, and now he has to get back on the back check. 2-on-1. White on the other side, and White didn't get anything on the shot. Made it easy for McPhail. Rock Lobsters 5-on-4 now, still on the power play. Milan stops it with a skate. Joe Mack here up on the left side, pinching in up the wing. Shinkarik able to stop it. Sends it back to Joe Mack in the corner. Trying to force open a window to send an option into. Neely on the right side. He's been playing like a man with a head on fire, but still has not found the back of the net. Shinkarik thought about the slapper once again. This time he settles it, casts a spell on it, sends it up the line. Van Durken here on hat trick. Watch has the puck, sends it back to his captain, Milan, off the wall, up to Neely. Neely back for Gallant. A rocket from the Red Deer. Rocket is high and up into the netting. Jason Gallant, a quick glance there at Eric Neely, and I think a quick apology that maybe Neely was in an open spot there that he didn't pass into. Still a 4-2 lead. The Rock Lobsters with 4 unanswered goals. And Van Durken back on the ice. 2 goals to his name. Will he complete the hat trick? As former Rock Lobster Chris Mott is back on the ice, and both teams now skating 5 aside. Another 5-on-3 for the Rock Lobsters killed. And that'll be something that Garrett Rutledge takes into the practice once again this week. His team 5.5 minutes away roughly from a win in which they got 4 unanswered goals, but right now 0 for 5 on the power play. Here's Greco. Nice little move. Almost 2, but poked away by Cunningham. Johansson takes a big hit at the corner gate, which has already taken some punishment. Great patience there from Babic to not make a poke in at it. That'll complete the Athens icing. Send the faceoff back down. Faceoff will take place to the right of McPhail. His left, our right. Van Durken and White. White has the last goal for the Thunderbirds, and that came in the second period. Virgili, nice little move. Just kind of uses the wall to his advantage. Tried to backhand it from behind the net to the net front. Ends up putting it off the cage itself. Kramer. It's taken to the wall by Johansson. Potentially illegally so, say the officials. Brings out the Boo Birds against the officials, as Jack Johansson will sit for 2. Athens 1 for 1 on the penalty kill, and we'll see if they can make it 2 for 2 after this commercial break. Last one of regulation. Let's see if Athens can keep both claws on the lead.
As a hockey player, my health is everything to me. When I got injured,
I didn't just worry about missing games. I worried about my future in the sport I love. From the moment I met you and your team at Piedmont Athens Regional, you gave me confidence. Your expertise, your care, your support, it all reassured me from the very start. Because of you, I've been able to recover, rebuild, and get back to playing the sport I love. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dream alive. Thanks to Dr. Graff and Piedmont Athens Regional, I get to keep playing the game I love.
Rock Lobsters back to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill for just the second time tonight. Jack Johansson will sit 2 minutes for holding. Power play clip just over 20% for the Thunderbirds entering this game. There'll be more games to come against the Thunderbirds in the month of March. For the Rock Lobsters, the reason why that's such a big deal is the Thunderbirds are the first team on the outside looking in for the playoff picture. Neely leading the charge shorthanded. Neely hard off the glass and lifts the stick on White. Neely, we all know what he brings offensively to the game, but he has been just a pest on the other side for the Thunderbirds in this game. Really showing just how well-rounded of a player he is. Cleared out by Lowell. Neely blocks it as Babick tried to clear it out and then rifles one up high. Thunderbirds trying to make things interesting late on. As we were saying, the reason why the multiple meetings with the Rock Lobsters against the Thunderbirds in the month of March is so important is the Thunderbirds are the first team outside of the playoff picture looking in. And Athens' magic number to cement a playoff spot coming into this game was 11, but since the Thunderbirds are the first team out, that number can get reduced here to 8 tonight. Actually, it was 14 entering tonight. Milan looking for goal number 5. Babbitt didn't know where it went, but was able to deprive Milan of getting to the rebound. Athens taking some chances in the shorthand, and it almost goes the other way as Cunningham had a half break on McPhail, who stands tall. Only save number 21 of the night. And when you take a look at the Rock Lobsters, 45 shots on net in the other direction. And unfortunately, it's just not enough for the Thunderbirds, who started off this game extremely well. Is there a set play in mind here? Chris Mott trying to make his former team pay. Wins it. Kramer to the left for LaBelle. Almost overhandled it, but got the pass off to the left for Mott. Up the left side. Gets through White. Mott here on the near boards. White back in the corner. LaBelle on the left side of the point. Centering pass through the crease, but past McPhail. Twin City power play coming to an end. Kramer trying the short side sting. Johansson's back on the ice. But the Thunderbirds still pressuring the Rock Lobsters. A nice little turnaround at the net side there from Kramer, but could not trouble McPhail. Kramer will load back up, dump it in, and go off for the change. Van Durken looking for the hat trick. Tried to take it onto the backhand, poked away by Farmer. Sent long. 2-goal game. Does Twin City head coach Steve Harrison think about emptying the net at some point here? Given away, Paralat to Batida. And a missed shot there from Keeley. Batida handed it off to Keeley. Keeley only 4 goals on the year, trickles wide. The puck is stuck. Dug out of the corner by Virgili, who scored goal number 1 in this game for Athens, with some help from his former teammate Chris Mott, who got the final touches on it before it got past Babic. Short side shot. The net rocks but doesn't come off. Babic was coming out of the net there, but was sent back as Athens was sending the puck the other way. Little short side trying to get it through the 5-hole. And now Babic is on the bench. Maye banks it up ahead to Milan. Now Craig from his own ice. Thunderbirds taking a chance here. They don't have any choice. Every point crucial. But they need a miracle. McPhail with a glove save. He has the kind of profile, and it might be a little too early to say, of the kind of goalie who would go out looking for the goalie goal. Big thank you to @DreamDiane in the YouTube chat for the kind words. Thank you so much for tuning in. A team timeout here for the team of the Twin City Thunderbirds, as they maybe try to draw something up. You got to put one foot after the other if you're the Thunderbirds, and right now they need 1 goal to even start thinking about tying this game. Garrett Rutledge on the other side, trying to keep this a 2-goal game. Gleb Van Durken, right now the 3rd period hero, as the Moscow Mule strapped the feed bag on, and all you can say is let him eat. He has the Rock Lobsters up 2 late on. Take a look at that shot on goal tally, 46-25. Might not tell the whole story of this game, as Twin City had a 2-goal advantage at one point. Chaos in the crease. Someone takes a dirty high stick up high. We'll see if Garrett Milan has any blood on the face. It won't really matter. The Rock Lobsters will have a power play late on as he takes a whack in the face. Now, when I said dirty, what I mean is that it was just a down and dirty, nitty-gritty kind of play there. I think the Thunderbirds just trying to do anything they can to get something on the puck. They got something on the face of Milan instead. Josh LaBelle fired up in his conversation with the Zebras. We've already seen one abuse of an official penalty called against a Thunderbird today. That was Gus Ford, who was ejected early on. We'll see you soon, Damon. Someone who works for the PD Ice Cats broadcast in the chat. And that reminds us of what is next for the Rock Lobsters. They head back to the Florence Civic Center to take on the PD Ice Cats, a team that's become a fearsome rival for the Rock Lobsters this year. Johnson was looking for the empty netter. Instead, almost set up the shot for LaBelle. Chopped at in front of McPhail. One last shot from White, but I think the light was already on. No goal, say the officials, and the Rock Lobsters win. Zach White wanted goal number 2 of the game. It wouldn't really matter. There would have been milliseconds left, even if it did count. at a 1-goal disadvantage, but instead it is 2 for the Thunderbirds, who had a 2-0 advantage themselves at one point in this game in the second period. But the Rock Lobsters were able to find their fight at about the midway point of this game. Philip Virgili got the scoring started, pirouetted, sending a shot towards Boris Babic, took the last touch off of former teammate, now Thunderbird Chris Mott, and took it past the Slovakian goaltender. And then Jack Johansson, a beautiful moment with less than a minute to go in the middle frame. Second bite of the cherry, sends his own rebound into the twine for his first professional goal, and it comes in pro game number 43 for the Milford, New Hampshire native. Send it into the third period, and the Moscow Mule able to strap the feed bag on, let him eat. It's his 2 goals, one that gave the Athens Rock Lobsters a 3-2 advantage, and then his second, and not just his second of the night, but also his 22nd of the year. That ties him for the team lead with Garrett Milan. And that was the icing on the cake for the Rock Lobsters to finish off this one. As we take a look at some of the memories created in this game, thanks to Classic City Orthodontics, who bring us our replays here on the broadcast. Gleb Van Durken at the back door. That was the dagger on the goal to make it 4-2. And a couple of former teammates getting together here after the game. Matt Garcia, Chris Mott. Great to see those two. As Claudius raises the flag for victory. And soon we'll all be raising Clawshank Redemptions, which are available at the Terrapin Tap Room. That's where we're heading next. What a successful hops and hockey night, as this game was hopping all around. Twin City jumped out to a 2-0 lead, but unfortunately for them, they gave it up. And now the Rock Lobsters' magic number is 8. All they need at the very minimum are 3 wins to cement a spot in the FPHL Commissioner's Cup playoffs, and that can be lessened as well if the Thunderbirds drop any games. Going to be some time before we get the 23 design 3 stars of the game after a conversation here shared between Carter Shinkarik and Matt Garcia, 2 great friends. And a wave here from Matt Garcia right outside your screen as he gives his thanks, his first opportunity really to be able to do so to Crustacean Nation. We love you, Garce. Now it's time for the 3 stars of the game. Let's send it down to the ice.
Your third star of the game with 2 assists, number 3, Luke Croucher.
Luke Croucher, 2 assists in this game. That takes him past the 40-point mark.
Your second star of the game with the goal, number 91, Jack Johansson.
How about the first pro goal for JoJo? Jack Johansson off of his own rebound tied things up at 2-2, and the Athens Rock Lobsters never looked back. But that's because in the third period, the Moscow Mule scored 2 goals to give Athens all 3 points in regulation. The Athens Rock Lobsters were looking for a bounce back tonight after that tough loss in Baton Rouge, a 6-3 scoreline against the Zydeco, losing to Baton Rouge for the first time ever in franchise history. And through a large majority of the game, despite the amount of shots on goal that the Rock Lobsters logged in this game, it looked like that bounce back might not come. They go down to 2 goals. Coming down into the net front and really making himself a nuisance. Salak opens up the scoring. A whiff shot from a Rock Lobster leads to a Zach White breakaway. A speedy skater made no mistake on the break and scored one to make it 2-0. But the Rock Lobsters found their fight, found their fire in the middle part of the game, in the middle way point of the second period. and goals from Virgili and Johansson, his first as a pro, tied things up right before the second intermission. And then Gleb Van Durken was able to be the third period hero tonight with a pair of goals. He was on hat trick watch, didn't get that far, but his 21st and 22nd goals of the season are the reason that the Rock Lobsters are coming away with all 3 points. The Rock Lobsters get their bounce back, and now they travel back to enemy territory, in which a rivalry that has gotten so fiery and intense continues on in the Florence Civic Center as we travel to South Carolina to take on the PD Ice Cats. Friday, March 6th and Saturday, March 7th, both games dropping the puck at 7:15 p.m. And we cannot wait to see you back here on the ARL Network. Whether you tuned into YouTube, Sporfy, or our TV partners over at the Peachtree Sports Network, we say so long from Akins Ford Arena. My name is Matt T. and Rad. Tonight, the Rock Lobsters took care of business, bounced back with a 4-2 win against the Twin City Thunderbirds. We'll see you next time